Hi everybody, I'm Adelie.
And I'm Phil.
And you're watching Our Daily Faith.
Place to dive deeper into your faith in search of more joy, love, and purpose.
On today's episode, we're going to talk about one of the biggest religious and cultural festivals here in Cebu.
And we were there to attend.
That's right. And we're also going to share a bit about what some of our ministry in churches looks like.
And we will talk about food on outreach. So in January every year, there is a festival here in Cebu. It's one of the biggest festivals here in the Philippines, and it reminds me of a big carnival. At the center of the celebration is a statue of the baby Jesus called Santo Nino.
So it's believed that the Spanish explorer Magellan, the first European to come and land in Cebu, came, he landed, he converted the current chief's wife to Catholicism, and then he left the Santo Nino, the statue of the baby Jesus, as a gift to her, and I think a few others were converted at the same time. I believe Sinulog also has roots to a dance. I think that was practiced before Magellan came to the island, and so that's where I think the name of the festival comes from. It's called Sinulog.
It was a really cool experience to go and experience the festival. I mean, it is a month long, but we got to go in during the particular days where they do like a parade. Our team went in, we did some face painting, we did some Bible distribution, we gave out water bottles because it was super hot.
The Bibles were in the local Cebuano language. It was neat to be here in Cebu for one of their biggest festivals of the entire year, or the biggest festival of the entire year.
And it was cool because some of the local Cebu staff have never been, so it was neat for them too.
So one of the other ministries that we're involved in doing is visiting churches, where we dance, pray, teach, preach, give testimonies. So here's a look at what that looks like.
Living out of touch, but now feeling like I'm born again. I've been coming alive, I've been coming alive again.
He wants to have a relationship with each of us. And he wants to show his love for us, each of us.
So what are your thoughts about how the kids are involved in this type of ministry in churches?
Our kids?
Yeah.
So far, the experience has actually been pretty difficult. In some of the churches we've been to, our kids have not had a whole lot to do. So when you don't engage the kids and you don't include them in the outreach, then they get it can be pretty long in church. But the times that we have involved them, whether it's a skit or a dance or things like that, they tend to get, really involved and really engaged, and it works out better.
It is. I also find it definitely challenging because each week we're going into a different church. We don't know what we're getting into. We don't know, what it looks like, feels like, sounds like. We don't know whether there's a kids ministry or not. There's so many unknowns every single week. It's kind of getting exhausting, and I can see it on the kids. We're like week 5 now, at the end of week 5 now, and they're getting tired of it. So we're trying to find ways to engage them and work as a team to engage them, but it definitely is one of the challenges that we face on outreach, I find.
There was one example of a time we went to church and you were speaking and Caleb started playing with a balloon in the middle of it, and then he just went and laid down right behind
no,
you.
it wasn't. It was at a church, but it was the World Vision / Compassion International event for mothers.
Yeah.
And it was held at a church, but and so I spoke at it, and it was a little wild. Caleb was up there, and because there wasn't something separate for the kids to do, so that was challenging. So we've had some questions about food on outreach, and so we're about halfway through, and so we just thought we'd give you a bit of information about what that looks like in the Philippines. So we're definitely eating differently than we normally do at home. There's a lot of fried foods, rice served with every meal, and lots of sugar as well. My body just doesn't do well on those foods, and so I think my body's just kind of getting tired after a month into it of eating those foods, and has been getting run down and sick because of that. If you can hear it, I'm all stuffed up. I've had a cold virus, and I've also had an infection, which has been absolutely no fun. I've been super tired and not feeling well at all, and being in a foreign place and not feeling well is even worse because you just don't know. There's a hurdle and a challenge to everything. You don't know where to go get certain medications. They may not be available. You don't even know maybe where to go to a clinic or a hospital, and just all those things are new and different, and that's hard. But I think that
My alarm. We're supposed to be going to ministry right now.
also, so I am gluten and dairy free, so is Elena, and gluten free is really hard here. It's generally not known about. Like if I say I'm gluten free, most people don't know what that is. Even when I say I can't eat wheat, there's not an immediate understanding.
I spoke to the leader of this YWAM Cebu base, and she said just in Filipino culture, at least up to this point, allergies just hasn't really been a concern. And it's not that people aren't allergic to stuff, it's just they don't...
It's not acknowledged maybe,
Yeah,
or realized?
They don't have this culture of getting checked out and like figuring that stuff out. So they just deal with it. Like they just keep eating what they eat.
Which is very different from, I guess, my family background. So there's cultural differences too that you deal with, and not that one is better than the other, but that just presents some extra challenges. The staff at the Cebu base are really kind and friendly, and they have tried really hard. It's just the way we cook is just so different, and it's just not reasonable for me to expect to cook and eat everything according to what I normally would, and I totally get that, and I don't expect that, which is why I just have been eating a lot. Like, they've been great at trying to do gluten and dairy free and whatnot, but just those extra things of like no fried food or no processed sugar, and those are just, it's hard to add everything on, so I kind of picked the 2 ones that I thought would be the most important. So we are in a new location, as if you can tell. We're in a new location, and for the next little bit, I'm going to be very active in meal planning, cooking, grocery shopping for our team. 17 people. So we'll see how it goes. I've never cooked for that many people before, or like really prepared or meal plans for that many people. So we'll see how it goes. But I am excited of being able to contribute to it, and being able to cook a little bit more according to what I'm used to eating. And I'm just hoping that I can give my body a little break and a little rest before we go back to Cebu City. In general, when we talk to families coming back from outreach, food is consistently one of the challenges that people face, no matter the location. Just different locations will have different food challenges.
Yeah, whether you're in Uganda or in Mexico,
Nepal,
or
wherever.
Nepal, or...
And sickness is also a big challenge on outreach. So I think the extra challenge is you're with a team and you don't have necessarily a say in what you eat, except for maybe if you go out and spend extra money on your snacks, if things are available that you would typically eat. In some countries, they might your typical fare for food may not even be available. So I know when we've traveled in the past as a family, like we generally cook on our own and we generally can make it work because it's just our small family. It's just not possible on a team. So that's one of the definite challenges going with a team on outreach. Hey, do you want to say hi? Hey Caleb, you want to come join us?
Bye. Thanks for watching.
So tune in next week when we're going to show you around Bogo City. We're going to share what we're up to while we're here, and we're going to talk about the kids' schooling while we're on outreach.
As always, if you're new to our channel, hit the little bell.
Hit the little bell. You can also find us at Instagram and our daily face. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Bells ringing and ringing. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.